Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President and Founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Standup. So without any further ado, let's get started. It's Tuesday. We're off to a good start this week. We've got things moving in the right direction. Today, I wanted to discuss with you something from a leadership perspective. I want to talk about 3 clear signs that you as a leader are in need of some leadership training. One of the things that we've seen since the pandemic has started to simmer down, I'm not going to say it's gone yet, is that we've been hosting a lot of leadership summits. We've seen internal changes in organizations with the way they're flattening leadership. We've seen some lack of leadership coordination, where when everyone was in the office, it was easy to coordinate and be on the same page, but we're starting to see lack of leadership coordination. And we're starting to see some things where there's some confusion with regard to the roles and responsibilities of a strong agile leader. So I thought we'd kick this off with 3 just very high level things that are signs that you may need an Agile Leadership Summit. You might need some Agile leadership training, whether from AgileDad or from another organization. Here's some signs that you can look for. Coming in at the top of our list, obviously, is if you find that you're having a lack of clarity in your own role and responsibilities. Now, I know that sounds crazy because I've been doing it for years, right? How would I feel? But I think sometimes we don't buckle down and focus on the things that are going to help us be the most productive. And by losing focus, we tend to strictly use our org chart, for example, as a way to see where we are and look at things that we should be doing based on our title, instead of looking at the things that are going to help us be the strong, fearless leader that our organization needs. So I think that sometimes it's clarity around why did you choose to do Agile in the first place, or clarity around what is the vision for our organization, keeping it short and concise, clarity around focusing on outcome instead of output, understanding what limiting work in progress means and how to focus on the things that are most important, and learning that saying no is okay to things in order for you to get the best things out, the best products and services out to market. I think that this doesn't change based on your position, title, salary range, etc., but all leaders should be focused on these things. And I think that that's a big gap. I think we need to find that focus, find that inner strength, and really hone in on what we should be doing. The second sign that you're in a position where leadership training might help is that if your team is getting easily frustrated, so that could be a team directly under you or teams that are a couple of levels down. If you see that the teams are becoming frustrated, look to the leader above them and ask yourself, if investing a little bit in that leadership or in that leader specifically being trained, how is that going to help you in the long run? It's a small investment up front, small price to pay up front, to have them in a position where they feel confident, where they're not just a person who's delegating work, but they're a person who is a fearless leader who understands how to collect and gather ideas, how to budget, how to best assess and forecast for project success, how to determine what the team's needs are. Investing the time to coach a team may seem like a lot of work. You're not wrong. In the beginning, it does take a fair amount of time to get things successful, but it pays huge dividends in the end when it comes to understanding how to better do my job as a leader. So no matter which level of leadership you're talking about, you should always look and make sure that if you see teams that are getting frustrated, that you hone in and focus on those leaders and get them the help that they need so that they can be successful. And number 3, your team's benchmarks for success are either not being met or they feel completely blurred. This has to do with that focus I was telling you about, whether it's understanding the vision and strategy. It's just a matter of sometimes when you ask the people who are on the ground, and I found this in many companies, Fortune 100 companies, when you ask the people on the ground, you say, how do you feel about this team members? They often say they don't feel empowered in their roles. They feel like they don't receive true, real feedback. They feel like goals that they set are not the right goals, or that they don't have any pattern for being rewarded or for having incentives for their success. I was recently in an organization who remain unnamed, and I was doing just a regular seminar with them, and I asked them if they had a message for leadership, what might it be? And one was that they didn't feel like they had clear direction. And 2 was that they didn't feel like they were rewarded for their successes, which I thought was really, really interesting, because overall this organization had a spectacular culture, but it just felt like they didn't have clear benchmarks or clear things that they were working towards. And it just made it really interesting to see how the teams came up with those answers. And the 1 or 2 leaders that were in the room were literally shocked. They were floored. And it's interesting to see when someone does speak up that it doesn't have to be from a fledgling company. It doesn't have to be from a small business. I mean, these were large organizations that were having these issues, and they were the ones who were pointing out that they were having these problems. So it's just real interesting to see that it's not isolated to people who are having problems. There are a lot of times where the captain of the ship feels like everything is going fine, but the iceberg's not far away, right? So we need to make sure that we understand the true needs of the organization and that we can stay focused. Now, I don't do a lot of advertising here, but I will make this small pitch. At AgileDad, we really do pride ourselves on our leadership summits. We have several coaches that perform these leadership summits, and many of the Fortune 100 companies have asked us to come in and do these. And this is a great opportunity, whether it's the C-level class of leadership, for a 60 to 90-minute seminar, just to give them some ideas and to gather feedback and to see how we can help them be on the same page, or whether it's an all-day workshop for people who are in senior level leadership positions. It's important to get everyone on the same page, to get everyone refocused, and it's a lot less expensive than an offsite retreat. So it's one of those things where it does help you regain that focus that you need. So if you're a leader, I highly encourage you, if you haven't already, go to the download section of the AgileDad website and grab underneath the comics. They have an Agile, a leadership Kickstarter, a leadership playbook. And that will help you see things from a leadership perspective and learn more about the things you should be focused on. But it also is going to give you a head start so that you can be prepared, so that if we do one of these leadership summits together, it'll put you in a position where you highly are aware of the things that are happening around you. And it's going to help you to see things in a light that you need to in order to achieve the best success. That'll do it for today. We're going to keep it short and sweet. As always, we encourage you to visit agiledad.com if you have questions or comments or feedback or topics that you want to cover. You can reach us at learnmore@agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.